have no idea how bad it is.
No, you have no idea how bad my coffee is.
Oh, no. Like, so this is like a quarter cup of coffee mixed with water. And then I put a ginseng packet, like a Korean ginseng coffee packet in there.
What?
Oh, yeah.
I've seen those.
It's ridiculous, but I needed caffeine. So we do what we must. Hey, I need to go live on Instagram. It's a Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to Social Surge with Fly and Mo. Dude, I almost hit the end stream button. That's how my Tuesday's going so far. Hello to the Graham fam. Kevin L. Watt, thanks for joining us on Social Surge with Fly and Mo. We are talking about being content with content.
I love that.
And Google your what?
Is that a double entendre? Not really. It's just a
we could make it. We could absolutely.
Yes, we could. I'm trying to get into your live feed.
Anywho, so we're talking about being content with content and Google my business. Google my business. You're gonna Google my business. We already have 2 comments in here. Oh my gosh, it's Dwayne. Dwayne's joining us. Marcy Moneypenny. Woohoo! She's coming in from Denver. I know Dwayne's coming in from New York City, so this is exciting. All right, so we were at CREI Summit a couple weeks ago. Now I can't believe it's already been a couple weeks ago.
Good morning,
and yes, it's like crazy. So, Fly did a session on content marketing, right? I mean, I think that's when we boil it down to it.
It was content marketing, but specifically, in trying to lead it to real conversations, because and of course this is my entire thesis, right, is that the point of content marketing is not to necessarily lead directly to a transaction, because that's not how it works, but instead to create opportunities to start conversations that will lead to a relationship that will lead to transacting down the line. Like, that's my whole thesis, right? And so I fight against a lot of the common advice that people tend to take when they think about marketing, because it's coming from a school that is advertising and like direct sales, and it's just like it's not a methodology that I've seen work in this space. And so the title of the session was Hook, Line, and Sinker CRE content that captivates. And so it was about content marketing, but it was also about specifically identifying who you are and actually trying to capture or captivate, right? In terms of, because the internet is vast, the internet is endless, and you could just start, if you cast nets, you will pull things back in. The quality of what you pull back in may not always be what you are looking for. And so it's really, and you and I talk about this a lot, and I'll be curious to hear about what your thoughts are in relation to Google My Business, because that's a very, that's a very specific platform. I'm a specialist, I would say, primarily in LinkedIn, and then other, other, text-based, not just text and video, but just like I'm more focused on LinkedIn. So it'll be interesting to see the corollaries there. So yeah, really about not just what you're actually putting out there, who are you trying to reach, and then how do you actually craft and put together a message that will reach those people, was sort of like the basis of what I was talking about. Pause.
Well, I mean, social media is going to get you noticed, right? But then Google is where you get chosen, because people are going to then start they're going to find you on social, right? And then they're going to start doing the research, and they're going to start looking around, and they're going to start going all these things. And if you don't have creating the content, right? So being content with content, which is a whole, actually, we could actually go into the whole psychology of that, of like how many people are so against actually creating content, not realizing that they're doing it already whether it's in emails or it's answering questions with their clients. I mean, you're already creating it. So let me
I
on
can't
my
tell.
interwebs. There we
Is
go.
it
We had a
is it
little
you
bit
or
of a
is it
hiccup.
me?
No, it's me. My internet just decided to crap out real quickly. So but it looks like we're back on. So hey, we're back on. Hello everybody. Anyway, so your social media is what's going to help you be discovered, right? But then you have to actually be discoverable on other mediums, right? And so the whole point that Dr. Dre, the whitest Dr. Dre Dre Campbell and I, he has the best name. We were talking about the fact that so Dre has used Google Professional or Google My Business to, oh hey, it's
Did he?
Hefe. What's up? Is Hefe in Canada this morning or is he somewhere in the
He's
United
always
States?
somewhere.
He's always somewhere. So Dre has actually pulled in a lot of business with his Google professional profile. Years ago, it used to be called Google My Business. Now they changed it. It's Google professional profile or Google business, whatever. Anyway, they changed it. It's still Google My Business, right? Everybody still says that. But his thing is that he's been getting reviews and he consistently puts up reviews. And I would say he probably does the best job out of all commercial real estate professionals that I've seen for this, with the exception of probably Warehouse Max out of Tucson and Aviva. But they're specifically using Google with Google ads, right? So Dre doesn't do any ads at this time. So this is all organic. It's all of the reviews and stuff that he's received. Cindy Banks, thanks for joining us over on the Graham Fam. Appreciate you being here. Fly and I are talking about being content with content and Google professional profile and how that's going to make you discoverable and how you need the two to be able to make it happen. So one of the things that I loved that Dre started with is that he actually started asking friends and family to give him reviews first. That is a-okay. That is fine for you to do. The only caveat that I would add to that is that Google wants you, okay, let me back up. Once you set up your profile, Google wants you to get reviews. Yeah. But if you ask for too many reviews at once, they will not publish them, which sucks. I have like 10 reviews that people have done for me that do not show up on Google because I sent out a mass email to people that I used to work with. And I was like, dude, where are those reviews? And they screenshot them and shared them with me and said, they're there, like I did it, but it doesn't show up on my end. It only shows up on their end. So you have to be really careful when you're asking for those Google reviews because, of course, even though Google wants you to do it, they're like, maybe you're a scammer and maybe we don't want your stuff on here. And you're like, you literally just go ahead.
That's wild because then you have the really incredible phenomenon of people like going to dox businesses and restaurants when they're the center of some kind of like scandal on social media. Like somebody be like, oh yeah, go leave them a bad review. And then like, so there's a certain level of flooding the system. I feel like anyway, it's just interesting to see how these systems work. Sorry.
Right. And you would think that there would be safeguards or some sort of AI that would actually prevent some of this stuff from happening and or letting it go through, seeing that it's legitimate. And it doesn't. So that is one of the things that you have to be careful with, asking for those reviews. Now, if you look up Dr. Dre, in Idaho, where he does his bulk of his business, you will see his reviews on Google. I believe he has 193.
That's crazy. That's a crazy amount. It's so many.
An absolute crazy amount. It is. And he estimates he's probably earned like $500,000, if not more, because of those all in organic search.
Yeah, nothing to sneeze at.
Right. And so what he consistently does on Google Professional, Google My Business, is that he actually consistently posts. Now, this is one thing that I do as well. And I'm not going to say now, so there's going to be two different sides of this coin. I do mine automated. So whenever in my mobile media planner, which is my own like proprietary scheduler for social media for content, my planner actually pushes out to Google, right? So you just hook it up through Gmail. And so I'm not actually actively publishing, like going into Google, typing in everything, posting everything. It's just automated. It's doing it automatically. I'm sure if I did what Dre does, which he goes and he spends time in there where he's selecting like the right, the right tags. He makes sure that all of his messaging is consistent with what he's doing. So he's actually going into the platform itself and putting things in there. So there's two separate sides. Now, here's the thing. We're both publishing consistently, right? His is more intentional. Mine is more automated. But the thing is that if you have a business profile, you should be posting at least once a month. That's it.
That's
once
nothing.
a month.
Oh, that's fine. You can do
once
it.
a month, right? Once a month. But people
I
forget
thought you were
about it.
gonna say like three times a week. I was just like, oh.
So I mean, the recommendation from a couple years ago was once a month. Publish once a month. Now, because of my planner, I publish like I think 3 times a week, right? And I'm sure Dre does more of that too. But that's the thing, is like we're being intentional with how we use that platform. And there is a method to the madness. When you publish consistently to your Google business profile, you actually get pushed up in organic search a lot faster.
Amazing.
And you show up on the right-hand side of the screen. So I don't know if you guys have like ever done a search for whatever business, blah, 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 blah. And then you see like a business pop up on the right-hand side. My nose is starting to run, so I apologize for that.
Better go catch it.
But So the organic search pops up on the right-hand side, and that's where you want to be. You want to be on the right-hand side of that screen. And Google Ads is fine. Google Ads is great. Google Ads is a monster in of itself. But a lot of people will skip sponsored ads just because they're just like, oh, those are sponsored. They've paid to be at the top of the search results. And it's just, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with our brains. That's what we think. But then, you might not be like 5 posts down, but you are going to show up on the right-hand side of the screen. I am missing all of these comments.
I was trying to let you finish because these comments are really great and we should talk about them, but I didn't want to derail because we got to dive into this. So,
okay. You want to go or I'll go?
Sure. No, I'm going to bring this up. So Marcy says, is the point that when people see your content on LinkedIn that they will go to Google to look you up? What about looking you up in an AI platform? What am I missing?
So I would answer this, that every single piece of content that you put out on the social various platforms and your website is all going to feed into the Google machine as well as the AI machine. Now, there's a difference between Google, what you're doing with Google and what you're doing with AI searchability. So AI searchability, you really have to look at it from a perspective of what are the questions people are asking. I do want to do a deep dive into Google AI and how their AI is working, especially after CREI Summit, and looking at like how is that picking up, like what kind of questions are they getting the answers to? Because there is a way to optimize the questions that you're answering so that you start showing up on those answer engines. So there's a method to the madness, right? So if your clients or prospects are asking particular questions, my whole thought process in this would be, okay, so client asked me a question. I'm going to go to answer the public and I'm going to put that information in there and see what are the top searched terms for that question. And then I'm going to take that and I'm going to create content that answers that question.
Yep.
Right? Now, it doesn't seem super authentic and original and and whatever, because you're answering these questions. But if you're putting in your personality and answering it, then it's as authentic as it's going to be. It might not be super exciting for you. It might not be this badass video that you were going to make, but then you could potentially storyboard a badass video to answer that question, right? So it just depends on your creativity and really your thought process going into it. So again, the thing would be, one, get from your clients or prospects what they're asking you. Two, go to answer the public, find out what the most searched questions are within that like vertical, that subject, and then start creating content around it. Again, the content shouldn't just be you answering these questions. It should be very organic. It should feel like it's coming from you. And it should be a conversation. In my mind, this is how you would answer a client, right? This is how you would answer a prospect. And then you create the content based on your tone, voice, and style. Does that make sense?
It does. I was having a conversation with someone recently kind of about like why they weren't getting any engagement on their posts that were basically their like market insights, right? Kind of like responding to current events, responding to current trends, and then being like, okay, here's what I'm seeing in my area. And like the first thing I did was, and we were looking at this post together, and I just looked at him and I was just like, how would you say this to a client, and why should they care? And what he said to me was so much more compelling than this like bullet point generic like processed like answer or rundown that literally anybody could have typed the question into ChatGPT and then had that sped out. The difference is you. Like the difference is you and what you actually think and what you would actually say to somebody, and having the relationship and the knowledge of that person to understand why it matters to them, why they should care, and how you can help them do something productive with that information. Like that's it. So,
maybe we should have changed the title to this. The difference is you, right?
The content is you. The content is you. There's a Hoover saying. There's something Hoover saying.
Yes. Thank you.
I'm sort of pro not trying to pre-name the show sometimes because we tend to go off on tangents that are still very useful. But I think just to bring up Marcy's question again. So like a part of this is there a natural like user journey through looking at your LinkedIn and then looking up more about you on Google? Like, sure. But I wouldn't necessarily think about like, oh, you're going to directly like ping pong from one to the other, because this whole like digital marketing, content marketing, all these different things that like Mo and I will often talk about as the ecosystem, it's not linear. It's not, we talk about funnels and things like that, but so much of this is a little more without clarity and definition in the same way that you can like walk somebody down a nice little path. Like, is there a design to that path? 100% sure. But the more that you understand the relationships and between the places and the places themselves where people are finding you, the more that you can let me put it this way. If you have a better idea about how people are perceiving you from all angles, I don't want to say the word manipulate, but the better you can engineer and have control over and have clarity around where your efforts are getting traction and where you need more support or what's not useful. Thanks for taking that down. I got off on a thing.
No, you're good. Right. No, it's all about engineering the message. Really. That's it right there. Okay, hold on. There's this is Dwayne says.
No, it's iced coffee. It's like iced coffee that you froth. That you froth with a thing, which is why it has a little head. I lost SOS to the universe. I lost my Trep mug. I lost it. My Trep mug that I have my iced coffee in every morning. I lost it. I have searched this house up and down. I cannot find it. So
SOS to the universe and Haley Keene and everybody over at Trep. She needs a mug.
A root beer would slap right now, though. No, it's just it's kind of nasty iced coffee. That's all.
That is okay. So we'll get back to this, but we were talking about coffee at the beginning of the show, and I was discussing. I have like a quarter cup of coffee because that's all that was left. I added water to it, and then I added a packet of Korean ginseng coffee. It's like instant coffee.
This is instant coffee. I have a
this is literally yes.
I have a big old thing of Nescafe from the Costco.
Boop.
Do people really think
what?
People really think I'm like drinking a it is 8 a.m.
Well, you know, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Okay, so I actually want to touch on this real quick because Dwayne, if you guys have let me introduce you to my friend Dwayne. Okay. DB is one of the most fascinating characters that you will ever come across on social because he does what he does in commercial real estate, which is commercial real estate adjacent, right? But then he has like this whole alter ego, dude. This whole alter ego.
Fromage is calling me. Sorry. Should I answer?
Yeah, answer.
Wait. Hey, you're live on Social Surge.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it started at 8:30.
No, if you weren't calling into the show, can you call me back in 10 minutes?
No, I'm in.
Hey, Dr. Fromage.
Okay.
We'll talk about the details later.
Okay, great. I will contextualize that for everyone. Bye. So I'm so sorry that I've interrupted your comment about Dwayne, but my father was calling me to tell me that he is in for Adam Dunn's 100-day sprint 2025. So, which if you this show, why are we allowed to be on air? So this show, this initiative. So Adam, there is 100 days left of 2025, and Adam Dunn started this last year. You commit to doing 3 things every day for 100 days that will move the needle in your life, towards business, towards your health, towards like whatever your goals are. And you commit to doing it publicly. You have a check-in every Monday, and today's the first day. I'll post about it later. That's it. Sorry for the interruption, but my father is in.
You're fine. I love it when Dr. Fromage calls in. We need to do that more. Pitch slap.
I'm going to start. That's so funny. I just pitch slapped you. I love it.
No, you didn't. So I'd also like to say it was Adam Dunn's birthday yesterday. He turned 40, the big 40. So if you happen to see him online somewhere, just make sure to wish him a happy belated birthday. But going back to Dwayne and Dwayne's alter ego of being like this hip hop master. So we had this comment up here about music promotion 101. When you put out a song, you asked everyone to call and request it on the radio station. Or in today's world, you ask everyone to listen. So if you want to look at it from that perspective, right? If we're looking at it from a music perspective, not much has changed. In all we're asking is for your little bit of attention, right? And that's what you're trying to do when you're creating content. You have your hook, you have your line, which is your 2 to 3 sentences of value. And then your sinker could be your engagement ask. It could be really, asking them to asking them for their thoughts, their opinions, whatever. It also could be a call to action where you're asking them to DM you. It just depends. So when you are trying to create content that you're content with, there's certain formulas that you can follow. Definitely think about how eyes track across the screen. There is actually a lot of psychology into what goes into marketing and content marketing. And I think that's an interesting thing to say because of the fact that we are trying to gain your attention. We're trying to, keep it as well. The studies say that we have the attention span now less than a goldfish. A goldfish has an 8-second attention span, and our attention span is 7 seconds. So when you hear all these marketing gurus and all these people talk about, oh, you got to get them in within 7 seconds, that's actually what they're referencing. They never actually tell you that they're referencing that, but that's exactly what they're saying. Because of the attention span. And this is based off of studies. So they're not just coming out with stuff out of thin air, right? Like they're not just pulling it out of their ass. There's actual like data that suggests that our attention span is a lot lower than it used to be. Now, this also goes to your videos.
Yeah.
So I loved Annie Bogart. She is Zach Molzer's director of
Brand, I believe, is her title.
brand. Thank you. She's just amazing. She's fabulous, just wonderful human being, and so creative.
Oh, wait.
She has what?
Director of Creative Content and Brand.
Okay, director of creating
Nope,
content
Chief of
and
Brand.
brand.
Nope, Chief
Of brand. Okay, we'll get it right one of these days. Annie's amazing, regardless, but she knows based on her background, which is not, it's not video editing. It's all about psychology and all this stuff. She knows that when you create video, if you don't keep stuff moving constantly, you're going to lose people's attention. So literally, we could do an entire case study on Molzer Development's videos and how they attract attention and how fast the transitions go. Now, there are some people in this industry, and I've heard this actually from a few clients, are like, I don't like those fast transitions. Well, there's actual reasons why we're doing it like that. Because if you hold something on screen for 3 seconds and don't change it, guess what? You've lost their attention. It's ridiculous. I understand it's ridiculous. You understand it's ridiculous. But think about the videos that you actually do pay attention to, especially when they're shorts, when it's short form content. Like, how fast are those transitions? How fast are they happening? 2015, it was 8 seconds. It goes down a second every 10 years. Yeah.
The one thing
I mean,
the one thing I will say about like quick cuts, and also about editing in general, a couple things. Okay. So if you are a person who is like editing your own video and doing your own video, or if you're just somebody who is putting out a lot of content, whether you have somebody doing it for you or you're doing it yourself or not, your perception of the material is going to be warped. It's not, it's going to be tainted because like you have so much more of an intimate knowledge of it. You have perceptions and like ways that you think about yourself, that you perceive yourself that other people do not have. And you've probably seen it or heard yourself say it like a million times, right? And so it's very difficult to have the exact same experience that somebody else is when they're seeing your material for the first time. So a lot of time when people have apprehension about like that kind of editing or like anything in, related to how their content looks or is coming across, like you have to remember the way that it's showing up with everything else, like the context of everything else in the feed, and how people actually are consuming things. The thing I'll say about some of the like some transitions and like some cuts and edits that I see, if like there are things that you are doing to engineer like the recapture of attention and like sustaining the attention over time. Then there are also things that might be aesthetic, and then there are things that push it into becoming like unwatchable actually. And so there's like a line between something that is specifically edited and engineered to like retain attention versus something that's actually going to be abrasive and push people away. And you just really need to understand your audience and your platform and how they are conditioned to consume content on that platform. Yeah.
Right. And that's exactly right. And as LinkedIn has been pushing more vertical video, we'll probably see a lot more crossover from stuff that you see on TikTok. And I'm not talking about like lip sync videos and all that stuff. There's a lot of people. If you haven't used TikTok and you are a Gen X or you are, a millennial or Gen Z, which that would seem super weird that you wouldn't use it. But if you've been resistant to it, just go on there and start using it as a search platform, not just as an entertainment platform, and start searching for potentially like what you do in business to see what kind of video content people are creating on that platform. I expect us to see a lot more of that showing up on LinkedIn. We're
Mhm.
already seeing it on Instagram, and that's because obviously Instagram has stated multiple times that they're more interested in video content than
Oh,
anything
that was a
else.
good one.
What?
No, I Dwayne's comment I think is really interesting, but it's really tall. Just set up.
To get back.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
No.
this is, but yeah. What Dwayne is saying is that again, the songs were engineered to capture attention, so people didn't flip to the next thing. And that's also really interesting because how often do you listen to the first, 15, 30 seconds of a song and then like flip to the next one? I don't know. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're good. You got Hoobastank stuck in my head. So now
Hoobastank.
that's all I'm hearing right now.
Oh, we're over time anyway, so.
We are over time. So I hope if you guys have any questions about Google business profile and how to set that up, you know where to find me. You can just DM me. If you want help with your hooks, your lines, and your sinkers, hit Fly Up. She's available too on all the social platforms. And then on Thursday, what I do want to talk about, I actually posted about it today. I want to talk about hiring help, hiring a VA, because I heard a lot. I actually heard it multiple times at CREI Summit, and I like literally got like just like a visceral like angry reaction about people saying like their VAs suck and that they don't like know what to do. And I was like, did you set them up for success? Like,
Right.
And I'm kind of very abrasive that way, but it just was just like, did you set them up for success? Did you set them up in a way that would help you versus hinder you? So I want to talk about that on Thursday, just because I think it's important. I have VAs. I have people that help out with video editing. And the reason why they do so good is because they follow the SOP that I put forward, which I love saying SOP because it sounds like SOB, but it's not. And on that note, we'll see you guys on Thursday. Don't forget to hit us up, Social Mastery VIP. It is our school group. We can't wait to have you in there. We're talking about the whole marketing ecosystem, from email to automations to social to actually brand messaging. Can't wait to have you guys in there. We'll see you back here on Thursday. Goodbye.